What's up, guys? Episode 3 of Bearded Bear Reviews podcast. It's been a quick 3 weeks. Can't believe we're here already. Back with the guys, Dan and Sean. And this week, as you can see, we have a special guest, Rusty from Rusty Reviews. I'll just hand it over to Rusty. Let you introduce yourself to everybody.
All right, guys. I'm Rusty, and I'm Rusty Reviews. Hopefully that catches on.
That should be the opening line of your videos.
That's it, mate. So I've been a bearded gentleman for probably the best part of 10 years now. The one and only time I shaved, my wife cried and almost divorced me. So it stayed. Weirdly, she told me I was that not as attractive as I was before, and then grew a beard, and then it's a long story. Let's not.
Definitely keep it then.
The whole YouTube thing was kind of I've always wanted to get into content creation. I love the process of it all. I love the putting together of the videos, the editing, the adding all the little bits, the trim, the music. Just a big fan of it all, really. I've dabbled in other areas, gaming content. I run an esports organization for a little while, competing in Call of Duty and Fortnite and stuff. Had a little bit of success with that, but it's if you haven't got a lot of money behind you, it's a long old road, that one. So I kind of thought to myself, do you know what? I have hair on my face. I buy beard products. I tell people what I think about them, and it was purely that's how it was born. Really, there's no other airs or graces around it. It was just, let's buy something, tell people what I think of it, learn as I go along, and see where we get to. It's going quite well. Nice. I think I'm about a month in, 5 weeks, about 600 total views on my channel, which is
nice,
way more than I expected. The subscribers are slow, but I think that's because of the content. It's not for everyone, so it's going to be a slow grower. But yeah, things are going in the right direction, and I'm really pleased with everything that's been happening so far. Obviously, I've met people like you guys through the gram, and other companies and reviewers and stuff, and I didn't realize how much there was out there, to be honest. And it's opened my eyes a bit.
What was it that made you want to go onto it? What was it that made you want to go onto YouTube? Was it like a light bulb moment at any point?
I think I've always been trying to dabble into YouTube. Like I said, the content creation, the whole idea about putting videos together and stuff has always been a high on my agenda as like a hobby, a little side project and stuff. But it's the first time I really wanted to put my face in front of the camera and share my opinion. I've always told I've been heavily opinionated in the past, so I thought I'd put it on camera and let people know how I thought. That was really it, to be honest.
You're all pretty opinionated, so it kind of goes.
I think we all share that.
The only thing that scares me is if I get something and then my opinion is negative, what sort of impact is that going to have? That's the only thing that worries me at the moment. But I'm sure I'm going to find a product soon enough that it doesn't appeal to me. Let's put it that way. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, well, the thing is with that, it is an opinion. It's not fact. So whatever your opinion is, you might have one opinion, and Sean's going to have a completely different opinion from you, and then I'm going to have a completely different opinion to Sean. And this is
that's right.
The good thing about it, where it is only an opinion, and everyone gets the chance to say. And in regards to with us, when the products go out to us, it's really nice because all three of us can talk about the products in our own way, and I think that's something which, as reviewers, we always have to remember: it's an opinion, it's not a fact. And hopefully, people who follow you also remember that as well.
Yeah.
Unless it's a fact, just saying.
I think I've got quite you can't, obviously on YouTube you can't check the name of every person that's watched your videos, but I'd like to honestly feel that I've got a pretty consistent viewer base as it stands. I seem to get comments and likes from the same people and stuff, which is exactly where you want things to start, and then it just hopefully will sort of snowball a bit, and we'll see how we get on.
Nice. the YouTube world is something we've just started to get into only recently. I mean, we started off with Instagram. It was all just about banging out. We started individually, so we're doing our own individual reviews. Dan pulled us all together, started doing like group ones. We made our group page, and yeah, I think it's as we were starting to go, we just realized that you can be more creative. You can have more creative content with YouTube when you're making videos, and also it's about the amount of exposure you're going to get. I mean, Instagram's good for posting and pictures, but when it comes to actual video content, it's not as good as YouTube. You don't get as much time to talk. Also frame size and that, so we decided we're kind of going to do both a little bit. So we started with a podcast, which are going pretty good, quite fun actually. It actually gives us three a chance to kind of talk shit as well, so it kind of works.
It's this is brand new for me. This is something I've never done before. It's quite interesting. I was when we spoke about potentially coming on, I was very keen because I've not ventured into something like this before. Thought it'd be quite interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah,
exciting.
No, it's good fun. Oh, I mean, so with the products you've reviewed, do you want to go through some of the products you've reviewed, some of your favorites, some of your highlights, maybe some of your lowlights? I don't know.
Do you know what? Honestly, right now there hasn't been a single product that I've found that I've gone, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Or genuinely, I think the good thing about especially the UK scene is they all seem to be consistently along the same sort of, they're on the same wavelength, if you get what I mean. No one's really sort of really pushed the boundaries and tried to be super experimental. Everyone's sort of in the same, so you're getting not the same products, but you're there or thereabouts.
I'm gonna have to go against you on that one.
That's good.
And the reason why is Rusty Bear pulled out a Bombay mix for their
I did see that.
Box. So I'm gonna have to call you out on that, because that was something I have never experienced before. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, there is that sort of concept of sort of quite. I mean, there's a broad variety there. You've got your earthy stuff, you've got your more like modern, almost hipster stuff with the sort of the sweet scents, and then all of a sudden Rusty just come out with like Bombay Bad Boy, and I was just like, what is this? So I'm going to go against you on that. But no, I know.
To be fair,
I know what you mean by that. A lot of them, even like just the look of the brand as well, a lot of them are very similar kind of like logo, and there's not much. A lot of them don't have much of a theme. I mean, like Odin's has got a big theme. I think Sugarbeard is one that is quite out there. They've got some crazy stuff. But yeah, a lot of the scents are quite similar, and they go through like kind of like earthy tones, woody tones, and there's not much kind of craziness going. There's a few companies that are, but I said the vast majority is quite similar, I'd say.
I think for me as well, going on to what you were saying about a lot of them are similar, I think for me, that is generally the consensus, that a lot of people are similar, but also, like Dan says, there are some companies that are towing the experiment line. I mean, we've been in touch with Chin Monster, and they're bringing out an assembly line. So it's a DIY kit.
I saw that, yeah.
So you get your base oils and you add your own fragrances in. So I think in terms of towing the line, that's going to make them stand out a little bit as well.
Do you not worry that could water down the market though, in sense that like people can then they're just buying this kit for 20 quid and they're not bothering with anyone else because they can just make their own stuff at home?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Andy knows best, to be fair, but I think making your own is something that's probably quite easy to do so on the surface of it. Like I say, Andy will speak more about that. But
it's a long process and it's hard to get it right. But I don't think it's going to water down brands too much, because the big thing about these brands, we all buy into them. We want to show off what brand we're using. I think like good brands have a good name and a good theme. Like Odin's is a perfect example. People buy that because they buy into the whole Viking thing. They watch the TV show Vikings, and it's just it looks fucking cool, and they want to post about that stuff and show people what they're having, and it becomes like a sort of like extension of your own personality to show off on Instagram sort of thing that people do. Also, like someone like Sugarbeard, a lot of the guys that have like the big beard, loads of tattoos, loads of colourful tattoos, I think they'll associate with that brand. Their lifestyle will associate with that. And a DIY kit, I think is really cool. I think that's a really good idea, but I don't think it quite has that same kind of personality association you can bring to a brand or from a brand to you. So I think that's where they might lose out. But I think everyone loves craft beer. Like, like the craft beer kits. You can buy a craft beer kit, you take it home, brew your own stuff. I think it has that big appeal to it.
But you're still going to go down the off license and buy the beers that you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though you can make it at home. Yeah.
Even though you like to dabble in your inner Walter White every now and again. I think the off license is there for a reason.
When people realise how fucking messy it is making beer barn, they're going to be like, fuck that shit. Let me still kick their ass and put them back in the kitchen. You're not allowed back in the kitchen again because it makes a fucking mess. Trust me.
Well, funny you should say about Odin's, mate. This was possibly one of my favourites that I've reviewed as of yet. The Thor.
I haven't tried Thor yet. I haven't tried that.
Mate, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a good consistency. The smell, the fragrance, the colour, everything about it is. Do you know what? It doesn't actually say, and I can't actually remember. But it's I think it was the sandalwood. Yeah, I think it was like the sandalwood or cedarwood, one of the two, and it don't actually say because they call them Thor, etc., etc. It's just, I can't remember. It's on my Instagram, I'm sure, but yeah, I can't actually remember, which makes me look a bit stupid. But
that's the thing. To be fair, they don't always. That's probably the only thing for me. They don't always mention what actual scent it is on the packaging.
Well, the Thor beard oil is mandarin, grapefruit, bergamot, black pepper, and cedarwood.
That's the one. The cedarwood. It's those woody. Do you know what? The one that stands out more, I think, in terms of those fragrances, is the wood. That's the one that really stands strong in that fragrance. But you do get that spiciness that you come from the black pepper. I remember now when I used it properly, it's great. You get this instant sort of fruity experience when you put it on. But the longer it's there and it warms up to your skin and stuff, you get the wood and the pepper really come through. It's a good all round fragrance that you could wear for any occasion, for any reason. It's good. It's really solid.
No, I love Odin stuff. They're strong scents, aren't they? They're powerful.
But they're not like they're kind of a punch in the face, but one that you kind of brush off quick. It's not. It don't stick around. And
that's exactly the words I said in my review. That's so funny. I said it's like a punch in the face, but a good punch. It's like a nice, fresh, kind of good punch.
Is there a good punch?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, it's very good. It's very.
I got this one, Tyre. He sent me that. That one is super strong. It's clove, eucalyptus, bit of cinnamon. I can't remember what else in it, but it's
lemon, eucalyptus, clove, cinnamon, birch tart, and rosemary.
When you say all the ingredients, you kind of think, how does that make something that you can put on your face? But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people don't venture into that world to make it themselves, because it's not just as simple as two smells make it. Get that balance to get them to smell that good. It's incredible. It's a lot of work.
It's really like vanilla and tobacco, something like that.
Here we go.
It's a lot of work.
This one, it's the first thing you get is the clove smell. It's super strong. It smells like because clove, they use clove as like a thing for the dentist to like numb your teeth.
As I say, what you put on a toothache, you'd put that on there where if you got like a toothache and that, wouldn't you?
And I could remember the scent when I first started. I was like, where the fuck do I know the scent from? And it wasn't until I realised that's where it's from. But don't think it smells like that. It actually smells a hell of a lot better with all the other bits in there as well. But it's just super strong. That's the best way I can describe it, I think. It's just a super strong scent. And also the actual oil is really good. He's basically made everything mimic the natural properties the oil you create on your skin. Yeah. So he's done a really good job on that.
I think he's got a good product, a good brand. The image is right. The website is clean. His Instagram's very good. I think he's onto something really, really special there.
And that's the thing. I think going, we were on about sort of the brand image. People like Odin know that the Viking theme works. I mean, you only got to look at Odin's and the Beard Struggle, which is where the three of us started from.
Yeah,
they play on the fact that it is Viking themed, and when you look at the beer struggle, they've got what did we say at last check? 500,000 between Facebook and Instagram in terms of number of follows.
That's insane.
Yeah. So everyone loves to pick up an axe and everyone loves to pick an axe up and chuck it at a tree every so often.
That's right. Yeah. How many takes was that? Come on, be honest.
You know what?
We're all friends
Honestly,
here. How many takes?
The first one. I have a mate there and he can confirm it. However, I did do a lot of practice throws first because I haven't thrown an axe in ages. I went to a place in Vauxhall in London called what was it called? I can't remember what it's called, but it's an actual axe throwing bar. Like all the drinks are like 0.5% because they obviously don't want you getting pissed and throwing axes. Probably the worst two combinations of activities you can possibly put together. But I went there for my birthday and it's really fun. It's not that hard. It looks hard, but once you kind of it's about the kind of timing. And once you get that, you get a feel for it. Once you get it right, it kind of clicks and you're like, that's kind of how, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a kind of hand-eye coordination thing. You just get it when you know it's right. And I was using this axe that I nicked from my cousin. I've actually got here one. It's just like a Swedish company and they make proper good axes. These are like about 200 quid each. It's called, give them a little shout out, Gransfors Brook of Sweden.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Try saying that when you've had a few drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Try throwing an axe when you've had a good few drinks. But yeah, so I just did that kind of like challenge thing. A couple of guys are they're doing it. One of the guys I tagged in it, he's like, I'm going to do it, but I'm probably going to get arrested. I live in Essex, and like, there's only like a small park, but like, there's people there all the time. I'm going to get arrested for fucking having an axe. I was like, yeah, I never really thought of that, but. No, it was fun. It was quite good. But honestly, first take, that's why at the end of it I go, fucking yeah, buddy, because I was like so surprised I did it in the first one.
Fair play.
Whereabouts are you based?
I'm doing it more often.
I'm on the sunny south coast, Southampton, for me, mate.
Oh yeah, whereabouts? I used to live in Lymington.
Okay, yeah, not super close, about 40 minutes away. I live in Shirley, Southampton.
Oh, yeah, Shirley, yeah. My mum lived there for a little while. My family, some of my family live in Totton as well, just down the road. And
I used to be a postman out there, out in Totton. Yeah, about 10 years. About 10 years I was a postman.
Yeah. There's a new company just opened, New Forest Beard Company from down your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I've done a little. I like them.
Yeah,
I like them. They're
cool.
very good. Yeah, they're very nice. Again, maybe not something to talk about just yet. They're in the early process of everything. But I've got 4 of their fragrances, I think, and yeah, they're very good. Very good.
Awesome. Cool.
So they sent me out a nice T-shirt the other day, actually, which was quite good of them. Yeah, but I dropped ice cream on it, so it's got a nice stain. So.
I like the logo. It's about a month ago when I had my hair over the side. It looked like a skeleton version of me.
Yeah, it's really good. The T-shirt's great. It's got like it's a black logo, but it's got like a blue tinge through the hair and through the writing and stuff. It's really subtle, but it looks really good.
It's like a purpley blue thing in the hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good. It is good. They're really good.
Andy, have you seen the comments? William Morgan is confirming your story that it only took
how much has he paid him for that?
Oh, yeah, I'll confirm. He's been paid off there. Thank you, bro. I know that. I'll give you a £5 tomorrow. Yeah.
Golf clap.
Tell you're Scottish, can't you?
One-sided Sean looking sexy.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah, there are people here, by the way.
So is this
it's the only one that Corey? It's the only one that Corey's
Sean's fan club? Sean's fan club coming in.
Yeah. It's a one-man band.
How much have you paid One Society to fucking say that? I mean,
to undercut you, I'll give him £4.50 once we've done this.
And also, once again, the bearded Danes in the house. Lovely to have you here. Gutted we couldn't do the day. We're all a bit preoccupied. I had to get home. Nightmare, but we'll crack on with it time soon. Here we go. That's all the comments at the moment. So yeah, you wanted to talk about face fur. Was it face fur beard care?
Yeah, we can touch on that. We can touch on them a little bit. They're pretty new. I don't think they've got much on the market right now, but I think I was really attracted to them because the way they look, the logo, the tin, everything about it is really clean. It's got a great even the box, the box that the oil comes in is fantastic.
Nice.
It's got a nice sort of it's nicely inlaid as well, and even the bottle. I just it's a nice. That bottle is massive.
Oh, what's that? Is that like 70, 60, 70?
It's bigger than 50, that, isn't it?
No, it is a 50. It's just really, 50. Really, yeah, it's a big thick boy, yeah.
Has that got...
It's a big old...
Has that got the... What's that got to the top of it then? Has that got the... It doesn't look like it's got prepare.
I know it wasn't. It was an actual dropper style.
Dropper.
Yeah, so you just pour it straight into your hand, but it's like a medicine bottle, and after a beer you can't get in it because you forget you have to push it down. Yeah, so it's just the
yeah.
But it was again though, weirdly, it's not one of those ones you've got to really get into. It's quite free, not free flowing, but it's quite. Yeah, I found it quite easy to actually get it out. But yeah, Mandarin. This one's called Mandara, and it's it's really good. Almond oil, grapeseed argan, jojoba, whatever you want to call that one. Just all your standard base products. But yeah, it's like Mandarin and something else. But it's really, really fresh, really, really good product. And they cover quite a lot. To be fair, they got brushes, combs, everything. But they're really nice. Good website, very easy to navigate, I thought. But they're I think they're definitely I think they're definitely a company on the up, and I think give them a little bit of time, I think they'll be competitive in the market. I think what was it, $12.99 I think for a 50ml bottle of oil, which is a very good price. But that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Like, is the value for money. So how could you have to justify sometimes being able to spend X amount of money on a product that you're just not sure about? Because that's the other issue is it's hard when you, especially people who are new to growing beards and stuff, and that, we need to get products for our beards and whatnot. Where do you even start? Like, where do you even look?
Is
that right?
That's where everyone starts.
The answer is
start here.
That's where you find it.
It's true. And I guess that's why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yes, it's three companies is where you start. It's either the Beard Struggle. Actually, no, I'm gonna rephrase this. You start off on either L'Oreal or Bulldog, then you think you're getting better, and you jump across to the Beard Struggle, and then you sit there and think to yourself, actually, there's shitloads of other companies out there, and that's when you go and explore.
Yeah.
The first time I got into sort of beard products was probably about 2015, 2016, give or take, when I was actually a member of Bearded Villains, which I saw, Sean, you were interested. Yes. You were looking at that yourself.
I'm in the process now.
I was
still, but it's so far.
I was patched as what then was a prospect in 2015. And a lot of the guys then were using it sort of coinciding with companies they were running themselves anyway. So that was the first time I really got into sort of products back then. And I don't know how many of them are still around, to be honest, but that was when it sort of started for me, the whole sort of process of being interested in how my beard smelled. I didn't even think it mattered how your beard smelled and stuff, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. That's when it all sort of kicked off for me. Yeah, it's huge, right?
I think that's what we've said a couple of times, isn't it? I certainly didn't, and I know you probably guys will agree, but I never. It was only when, like we said, I've come across the advert for the Beard Struggle stuff. Yeah, and kind of that acted as a foot in the door now in the grand scheme of things. But it wasn't until I sort of like delved into that world that I was like, fucking hell, there's a lot of people doing this same thing. And obviously, when the three of us collectively got together, it was like, okay, now there's even more that I just never heard of. So many that we've spoken to over. Well, what is it? It's still only the end of May, wasn't it? End of May, end of April. Sorry, end of April.
Yeah.
So we're only talking 2.5 months.
I got bought a Christmas present about 5 years ago. It was the Bulldog stuff, and I'd never really used it before. And then my sister started making her own stuff. So she makes loads of soaps and loads of stuff. She doesn't do it anymore. She's moved away to Portugal. But she had, it was called Luby Doos Loves You. And there was, and she had Black's beard oils as well, because I said it's Black. And she gave me some, and I was like, this is actually really nice. It smelled really good. And I was thinking about kind of going into it back then, but I used to manage nightclubs and bars, and that's like a fucking 60-hour week, 70-hour week. So when I was doing that, anytime I had outside of work, I was just like, I'm not doing any work. I'm not doing anything else. I didn't have time for it. It wasn't until I kind of came out of that and all this kind of happened, all the COVID stuff, that I actually had time to really look into what it was I was doing and using. And obviously Dan kind of contacted us. But I think before Beard Struggle, I ordered some Viking Revolution stuff on Amazon about 6-7 months ago. And their stuff's pretty good. I mean, we did a review on them. They're huge. I didn't realize how big. I think they've been around longer than the Beard Struggle. But they're made. All their stuff's actually made in China. It's not even made here. It's all made in China, produced there, labels, bottles, everything done there. It's mainly sold on Amazon. Like their Instagram doesn't have much following. The reason I found them was I just searched on Amazon for some beard oil, and I use their stuff. It's actually really good. It's really lightly scented. It's a light oil. Like the sandalwood one smells really nice, but it's not super potent. You put it on, and you kind of forget you're wearing it. And now and again, a little gust of wind will just stick it up your nose. You're like, oh yeah, that kind of smells nice. Whereas I think everyone else, like all the new ones, are a lot stronger now. But yeah, I got into it through. Actually, the first beard was one my sister gave me, and then the Christmas present bought. But you can tell the difference between kind of craft hobby stuff and the big kind of mainstream stuff. And I went to smaller companies with kind of. It's like do you like craft beer or do you like main beer? It's mainline beer. I prefer craft when it comes to beards.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I'm a big fan. I think there's a big market for, like, we're going back to what you said about the assembly line. I do think there's a huge market for something like that. I think there's a big hole in the market for something like that. I do worry that it will beat out a lot of the smaller, less established companies. That's my only worry with something like that. But someone's got to do it. Someone's got to jump in and do it because it's there. Yeah. It's there. Yeah. I think it'd be really good. I'll be really keen to try that out as well to see how it sort of all comes together and how difficult. Because
that again.
That's the thing. I don't really know much about it. I still don't, until it turns up. I don't really know. Going off the Chin Monster.
Chin Monster.
Going off the sort of conversation me and Dan have had with him, it seems like it's been well received. He's had family and friends trial it.
So they send you, was it like 100 ml base bottle? Like the base oil?
From the pictures that he sent us through the direct messages, I think there was a picture of 3 base oils in 3, and then a couple of like little 5 ml. That picture on the left.
That's the one, yeah.
So like 3 base oils and then your scents to go with it.
So is it like a ready-made scent that you just combine the two together, or you've got to combine the scents to make the scent you want?
Well, he's sending us. Dan will have to confirm on it, but I think he sent us chocolate, wheat, and is it caramel?
Yes.
And it's supposed to make millionaire shortbread.
Oh, right, I'm with you now. So you just got to get Yeah, I'm with you now.
You can pick your own fragrances, but I think he'd said to us that if you do put them together, that it'll essentially make the smell of the millionaire shortbread. And I think as well he's introduced a Jammy Dodger one as well.
Yeah, I saw that today. Actually, it's a limited edition one he's going to do soon. I think. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, looks good. That's just on its sort of final process. We was talking to him, and that's sort of he's literally just getting it back from the CPSR, which is why it's not available just yet. It's literally going to be anytime soon. So yeah, but yeah, in regards to the assembly line, it's the base of it. You get your main oils, and then you can add, if you want, you send a little bit stronger. You just kind of add a couple more drops. If you want it sort of, if you just want caramel, then you have the caramel. If you wake up next day and you want the millionaire, then you put that in. So the idea behind it is that you've got that option to be able to mix and match as and when you want.
I think that's what it's about. Yeah, it's the mix and match element to it.
Yeah.
Which is good because, like you say, rather than having to have the same scent every single day, you can have it a bit more powerful in the caramels, the scent. Or I think what else did he do? He had tobacco, cologne. He had some citrus ones because I know he had orange.
Yeah, I think he had orange,
lemon,
a lemongrass or something. He's got a nice variety.
A few to choose from.
Yeah, so you don't have to just have the earthy ones. You don't have to just have the sweet ones. You've got the citrus, so you literally can jump from one to the next. Which for us, I mean, you can do silly things like have like an orange caramel, and sort of just throw them two together if that's what you want to do. Or you can have a lemon tobacco.
Do you know if he's going to be selling just the oil and a pack of fragrances, or if you can buy the scents like separately and stuff like that?
I think when he spoke to us, there were 3 categories.
Right.
And they collectively, I can't remember if it was like you picked, I think he categorized them into sort of like, one was citrusy, one was sort of foods, one was maybe more the masculine or whatever. But I think you could literally just pick and choose 3 scents. Like Dan says that, and going back to it, it shows how experimental you can be, because like using the example that Dan just gave, you can have lemon tobacco, which no one's done and is unlikely to do. But if that's 2 of your preferred scents, gives you the ability to. This is
exactly what I've been doing for the last few months, is just playing around with, like, I've been making my own different ones and stuff. So like, similar to what you said, I did sweet orange and sandalwood, and that's fucking lovely, like really nice. Like it's so simple. But I think one of the biggest things I've been playing out isn't so much the scents, but it's the actual carrier oils, getting the right blend and consistency of an oil. And I think it's good to kind of mix them up, have a few different ones. That's why I like having different products from different companies. You got like the lighter ones, and I mean the one I reviewed last week, the Bald Viking, like the castor oil stuff is super thick, and it's like you have a different consistency to use for each day. But I think that's the kind of, I mean, the scent experimenting is one thing, but I think people take a lot of emphasis off the actual content of the oil and what its carrier by base is, what its consistency is, what the makeup of it is as well. And I think when they do they do it as just the same oils, or can you change the actual blend of the base as well?
No, your base oils are
the base, so it's purely just like a scent. Cool.
Yeah, it's just a changing of the scents. So as you said, it'd be good to see what that base oil section is. If that's good, then being able to mix and match will make that phenomenal.
They could be onto something really, really good there. They're clever and really niche, especially for new people who are newer to the sort of whole beard oil sort of scene, if you like. That could, especially like we said, where do you start? There are so many. So if you can go to a company and go, I wouldn't mind 3 or 4 different and try them. I think samples. It opens it. I think it opens a door, and I think it's smart.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He's put a bit of time and effort into it. I mean, he's handwritten the instructions for us. He will print them, obviously, moving forward. But he says he messages saying that he's handwritten all the sort of manual that comes with it. So he has put a decent amount of time and effort into it, based on his messages. So hopefully the products do it justice.
Got the bearded Dane just told us he's starting a UK series. I was actually talking about this every day. He's ordered Sugar Beard, 7 potions. He's getting a few from Big Fat Beard Oils. I'm sure John's happy to hear that. I'm sure John's watching.
Just so Bearded Dane knows that he can use my discount code whenever he wants. And if anybody else wants to know what that code is, just message me. Just message me. I'll not hold that information away from you. I will willingly part with that money.
He also said Bulldog's actually a really good target product, which is true. When it comes to whatever's it's definitely the best thing in there. I said the worst one I've ever used was I've got Superdrug own brand.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Well, that was that difficult times.
Isn't it?
Was that tough times, Andy? Tough times.
It's pretty much just. I would have been better off using fucking olive oil in my beard, to be honest.
I'd worry about something like that making it drop out.
Oh, I would as well.
Oil.
I'd agree with that though. The Bulldog actually is, in terms of what you're getting for value for money. You can walk into Boots, pick some up. It's not terrible. Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
Here we go. All right, lads. Big fat beard. John saying, nice to virtually meet you, Rusty.
And you, buddy. And you.
Rusty, remember, you got to plug yourself. Big fat beard. Remember, Rusty reviews. He does reviews.
I do. Talking about reviews.
And if at any point you want to review some of Big Fat Beard stuff, just let me know and I'll make sure you've got a discount code when you buy them.
Talking about review, this one's next. Beardcraft, orange and vanilla.
Yes.
Orange and vanilla. So yeah, simple, I won't give too much away because this is the basis of my next video. But it's brilliant. That's all I'm going with right now. That's little
all the more reason to listen in. I'll watch it next time round.
That's just like dipping my toes in. That one is. That's all that. Yeah. But again, they got a good range. They have a good range of products I've seen. They're a lot of oils, balms.
Obviously, a good wax.
Wow.
And I think they have two variants of a hat. They have like a snapback and a trucker cap, I think. But that's about. Yeah, they look good. They look like they go onto something good. They've gone with more of a clean style of fragrance, just a sort of uncomplicated, nice and simple. It seems to be working because that's very good.
Rusty, I got one for you. Obviously you've done quite a few products so far. Is there anything on the market which you haven't had yet and you want to get your hands on, whether it's UK, America? Is there anything out there which you've seen, which you just like? I'd love to be able to get my hands on it one way or another.
There's a company out in the States actually that I used to. They've been around for a while. They're called Polpo Beard Oils. They've got great logos. They've got a huge product. They've been at it for a while now. And I don't know what the rules are in terms of America and the UK, if they're the same sort of the CPSRs are the same and whatnot, or if it's a little bit different. But I don't know if you can find them, Andy. They're good. They cover everything.
Yeah. Spell it
PULPO. Polpo.
Okay. So regards to their sort of CPSR and stuff like that, it's slightly different out in America. They have something called an FDA, which is their comparison.
Yeah, that's
however, it's non-compulsory. Basically, if your product is FDA, then it shows that you're producing producing good oils and you're doing it to a good standard. However, that is completely non-compulsory. So you literally can get sort of John Smith, if you know what I mean, making it from their garage and using way too much sort of fragrance oils. And they're allowed to sell it within America. It's completely different when it comes across to the UK, into Europe. But it's FDA is their equivalent, so to speak.
We've had an issue with it, not an issue, but we've had a company that have fallen foul of that, haven't we? Obviously, I'll not mention who it is, but they're an Irish-based company, and they were getting their products from Canada, I think it was. And it was because it was only FDA, they didn't have to didn't have to go through the sort of the rigorous checks that CPSR offers over in the EU, but it's meant that he can't actually sell his product like it anticipated into the UK and Ireland because they wouldn't provide whatever it was that he needed to forward on to the assessors. So it's throwing a spanner in the works.
You already FDA approved as well?
Yes, FDA approved.
So the product was FDA approved, but that's still not good enough to be able to sell within the UK or within the EU. You have to have the CPSR. It's a comparison. The FDA and the CPSR is like a comparison thing, but if you are FDA, it means jack shit within the EU. You have to have the CPSR.
That's good to know. But I take it that doesn't mean when you buy something from the States, it's going to get caught up at customs and not make it to your house. It's still going to get to you, and
it's not illegal.
So when you buy it from there, and it's just the selling of in this country.
Yeah, which I suppose is a bit of a loophole actually when you think about it.
I was going to say that, yeah, because I mean the amount of cosmetic products that you buy from America, or general cosmetic products, a vast majority of them won't even know about CPSR.
I didn't know about it until I sort of got in touch with you guys.
Yeah, that's the thing for us that we've established because we didn't know about it ourselves when we started. It's only when it's been brought to our attention and we've looked into it in more detail that we've understood what it is and the importance of it. And I think the issue is, which is why we've teamed up with a couple of companies that offer the testing and stuff. It's just because people don't know about it. It's EU legislation, but it isn't made a big enough deal of. A lot of companies, not through negligence, they just don't know. And that's
the reason why we're doing it, is because we're here to support the kind of bearded community, support the small businesses, and make sure they don't get caught pants down if they get like a legal thing against them and they don't have tests, and they're going to be fucked. There could be like jail time, if you really damage someone. I mean, to be honest, like personally, I couldn't give a fuck if it's CPSR tested or not for my face. There's been, trust me, there's been a lot worse things on my face in my time than something that's not CPSR tested. So I couldn't give a shit for me.
Like what?
A lot worse considering he used to work in the nightlife industry
in London as well.
In 15 minutes it'll be after the watershed, so you can say what you like then.
We'll say the graphic detail. But I couldn't care for me. It's more for the actual small businesses. They don't get caught with their pants down, because like one small thing, you've got a lawsuit in your hand and you could be like proper fucked. So we're not here to be like kind of jobs where go, you can't use this. It's more like, listen, guys, make sure you get it done. You're gonna be, you're liable for people's health here. You don't want to get caught.
Which is a conversation I had with a company recently, actually, and they've got a good product. And I said to them, I wouldn't want to see you damage the reputation of your brand because of a little bit of legislation that's actually quite important, especially when you're sat on something that is very good. Yeah. It'll be cut out at the knee before it makes it to the mainstream because you didn't, go and get the correct certificates and stuff. So that's important.
Well, John's from Big Fat Beard. He's just commented, and he said he thinks it's crazy. It's not compulsory to have the sort of CPSR or the FDA within the States. With Brexit, will the rules change? So obviously, I'm not a politician. I don't know all these sort of legal bits and pieces. As far as I'm aware, we will still be taking a majority of the EU laws, transferring it into UK law and abiding by them, and then tweaking them as time goes. So as far as I'm aware, it's still going to be the same. CPSR will still be there.
I mean, they're obviously going to have a lot of big law changes when this happens. They're going to have to prioritise it. And I think the CPSR test is going to be one of the ones down.
It's going to be right down the bottom, yeah.
I think having had a little bit of a read into it as well, so I've still got limited knowledge on it. But the websites that I've seen, companies who sell CPSR testing and stuff, they've said that it should be future-proofed. So I think Soap Kitchen says it on their website. Actually, I'll have to double check, but I'm sure it says that despite Brexit coming in eventually, whenever that hits. I think it's not going to affect anybody. It's not like they are under the assumption it's not going to mean everything's got to be redone. I think it's still going to stand as legislation.
Yeah. Well, I think the only thing that we'll see potentially change is the cost it's going to mean for trying to get things from America, maybe potentially even across the rest of Europe as well, like to get things shipped into the country. That could be the only thing. So we could see the UK market take a bit of a hike in price in some respects, but and again, like you say, we could see it expand exponentially because we can't get products as easily as we could before from overseas.
But that for me as well is the slightly concerning thing, because I've never really thought about it until we started mentioning it, that because it's not compulsory in the States, how many companies are there that sell worldwide? I think it's probably a little bit unfair on companies like Big Fat Beard and like Facefair and whoever else, that they have to go through such stringent testings. And to be fair, it's not the cheapest thing in the world as well. And they're having to compete with companies from America that can just, in theory, do what they want. And like you say, unfortunately, it's not the most important of legislations to obviously have to change with Brexit, but I think probably a little bit more should be done, to be fair. And bring it back on a level playing field for the UK.
All you got to do is get 150 signatures on 150,000 signatures on a petition for it to be spoken about in Parliament.
100,000. So it's 100,000 for the Gov.uk website.
That's not a crazy number of people. I'm sure there's more bearded people than that in the UK.
Yeah, let's find 100,000 furry-faced people. Get them to try
just stood outside Parliament.
I don't think our following reaches that far yet.
Not quite.
We're
maybe
that's
1,000, but maybe we'll put a pin in that one for a later date. Maybe
we'll car park that idea.
Yes.
To be honest, it doesn't surprise me that it's not compulsory there, because some of the laws over there, like you can go and buy a gun and get it within an hour in Walmart. That's like going to fucking Tesco's and saying, I'll have an M16 fucking assault rifle, please. Here you go, wait an hour. Like that, I think of all the laws they have, this is one of the least crazy ones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can I go get an M16 and a meal deal as well, please?
Yeah. The beard today said, if you like the mixing idea, Ferocious Beard does the same thing. They allow you to create your own base oil and the scents as well, which is
interesting.
Cool. Use different base
Ferocious
oils.
Beard.
Ferocious Beards. That sounds quite cool. I could check them ones out. Yeah, and Big Fat Beard saying CPSR testing, it costs a fortune. One report's like 15 pages.
15 pages. And that's the thing for me. The companies don't. I think that the companies should shout it from the rooftops. I know it's, like I said, it's something that's compulsory to be able to sell in the UK, but because so many people don't know what it is, I think the companies should be able to shout it from the rooftops and to say, look, this is how seriously that we take our company and take the safety and well-being of you as customers.
Yeah.
And as a reason to not go to an American company and have it shipped from the US, because they don't or they won't or don't have to take, like I say, your well-being as seriously as we do here in the UK. So I think more of a focus, because I bet if you speak to the majority of the bearded community, I bet not a lot many people, I'd say 20%, if that maybe, that would know about CPSR.
Easy.
Yeah, I have no clue.
We never did when we started. It's.
I mean, I still believe in the 10-second rule for food being dropped on the floor. So, I mean, knowing about CPSR is pretty far off for anything when it comes to health and safety for me doing.
I've looked into it a little bit. I've looked into it a little bit, and when you actually search on Google to just get a very simple outline of what's expected and stuff, they all have this same sort of government written guideline bullet point thing that's word for word on every single website, but the prices seem to vary. I've seen some that are like 40 quid for like a 48-hour turnaround, which you look at that and you go, surely that's not okay. There's like someone's trying to find a little. I can't remember what website that was. But then there's others that are hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And I think because not enough people are talking about it and making it something that people have to stand up, there's not enough competition. And once there's competition, the price then should come down of how much it costs to actually get the work done. Once everyone's putting their products through the same process, then it should get cheaper.
Yeah, I think American companies should, for me, if they want to sell to the UK or to Europe, they should have to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which would help.
If you're saying that there is a company who can do it 48 hours and cost 40 quid. I think John's just launched a comment saying it costs a fortune.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Complete. So there you go. Message John behind the scenes. Get yourself a little bit commission, and go from there.
I mean, that could have just been someone jumping on a bandwagon, mate, trying to earn a few quid. But yeah, it's the price variation is crazy.
It's all good, honestly. Definitely tested that.
so yeah, that smells all right, mate. Yeah, good job. So when we say compulsory, are we saying that it's policed, or is it just compulsory? But if you don't, no one's really going to say anything.
No one's going to say anything. If you get caught without it and something goes wrong, then you're fucked. It's more like it's like driving with no car insurance. Like
I was going to say it's like an MOT. Yeah,
you can still get in the car and drive, but if you get caught with it, you're fucked. If you have an accident and hit someone, you're fucked. Right. Basically.
It's probably the easiest way of giving it as an example to compare it.
Yeah, driving it without an MOT.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So there's no companies out there right now that are sort of checking for this sort of thing.
No.
We know. No. Don't get me wrong. There are people who are asking for it, sort of like us, and sort of there are other people who would like to see it, but we don't know of anyone of any sort of authority who are policing
spot checking.
As I said, I think it's genuinely a case of if something goes wrong and someone has a serious reaction and your product is not CPSR, then it can be pushed from the far.
John,
wait and see.
Sorry.
Thank you. Andy, shall we jump on to last week? Talking about stuff, bits and pieces. What we got up to last week. What did you do last week?
Last week, I did the Bald Viking. They were really, really cool. My little axe throwing video.
Oh, yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah, I did 2 of their scents. So I did this one, which is the Berserker, and also Forest of Valhalla. Their stuff, I was really impressed. It was what I said last week when I first tried it. I've never tried one with Castrol. I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't like it. Put it on. I thought it was going to be gloopy. It was going to sit on my beard and keep my kind of face feeling like it was suffocating, but it didn't. It absorbed in straight away. And for an oil, it's so thick. You can it gives you a bit of hold as well as just like what an oil normally does.
Yeah.
Comes in 50 mils and it's $12.99 each, which is an absolute bargain. And the smells are really, really good. It's really like earthy, woody, natural scent, but then he throws like a bit of cinnamon in, not just cinnamon, a bit of like lemon citrus in there as well, and it balances it really well. It's like a really well balanced cocktail. It just smells good, and it works really well and just so cheap. I was really impressed. The guy, he's a detention officer in Metropolitan Police, so he's doing this as well as another job, and I imagine his job's pretty fucking hard at the moment with everything going on. So it's a lot of respect to the guy for doing that. Tough job, and he's creating some really good products. I think he just went past his first 100 sales, which is cool. He's he's one of the guys. He started off making his own stuff. He didn't know about CPSR. As soon as he found out about it, he pulled all the products, went and got it done, went through the correct steps, and now I think after that, it seems like he's got probably a better product from it as well. So it's not just a legal thing. It gives you time to improve your product and make sure it's good. But no, super impressed with them. His name's Callum. He runs the company. Really cool guy. And he's all over his Instagram and social media, like responds straight away to any questions and that. So no, really, really cool. I was impressed, and definitely gonna keep using them.
Yeah, and then after you, I stepped in and I had Viking beard stuff. definitely the money. And for me, sort of a real hit and miss. Sort of I got the fresh citrus and sweet floral. Then so sort of quite soft, supposed to be quite soft, subtle, sort of not away from your earthy stuff. I'm not a lover of the earthy scents anyway. Sort of I got these two. These sort of base oils were really, really nice. Really, really good. They were sort of nice and thick, and they actually lasted in your beard for a long time. Really nourishing, which was really, really good. However, the scents were just almost non-existent. You put it on and you get a nice, good blast. An hour, maybe two later, completely gone. Absolutely nothing there. Which, considering how good the base oils were, was such a disappointment in comparison to the scents. Because obviously you've got to have that balance. But yeah, just base oils phenomenal, scents. So yeah, I would sort of really add the cross section for that. It's a live and learn thing, isn't it? I suppose. So hopefully they can look at that and go from there. But yeah, I mean, next week as well, Andy and Sean, you've both got stuff coming up, haven't you?
I've got Balbo. I've had their stuff now for about 3 weeks. I didn't really use it the first week. I've used it a couple of times, but I've been using it more this week so far. And I really like it. It's cool. They've got like a massive variety of scents. They've got like one down one end. They've got like kind of super sweet candy stuff, which is you're the Love Heart sweets used to get. Like It's got like a little with them. It's that scent. It's Love Heart scent, and that's really sweet. It kind of reminds me a bit of Sugar Beard, a little bit of the Ryan Brew one. Which is really nice.
I love
and
that.
They gave me what was it? Cinnamon, Lang Lang, and Sweet Orange, which is really nice. Totally at the other end of the spectrum, but really, really nice. And a good hold on it. I used the soap today for the first time about an hour ago. When I used the Sugar Beard one, that was like really good. But this soap you use it foams up loads. Like it's proper like really dense, super foamy. Like your face just goes white completely. But that was really, really good, and it didn't take away too many of the kind of. It didn't feel too dry afterwards, like a lot of soaps do, where it just sucks out everything from your beard, like all your natural oils as well. So this was quite good. But yeah, the review, I'll be working on it like next week, probably over the weekend. But yeah, so far so good. I really like this stuff. It's Balbo Beard Co.
They're Scottish based as well, aren't they?
No,
I seem to think they are.
Shropshire.
There must be. I'm sure there's one that has a similar name. I could have sworn they were Scottish.
I'll have a look. Here we go.
Balbo.
I like that logo. It's clean.
Yeah,
it's quite cool. That's the soap I was using. Really, really good soap. Sandalwood, same one as I got. Very nice. I had, where was it? I think it was this one. It's quite nice. Where's their sweet one? Oh, they got some pretty cool stuff. Winter beard oil. That's the one. Candy Hearts. That's the oil I got. Really nice. Super sweet.
I like those bottles. I like those bottles. Go up a little bit. They're just here on the right. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's very in your face. You could see that on a shelf somewhere, and it'd stand out a mile.
Yeah. They do the mustache wax as well, the little tins, and then also the butters as well. Oh no, what's that? A tattoo conditioning balm.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
That's what I was. Was that how? I'm sure was it Sugar Beard? Is that how they started?
Sugar Beard, yeah.
No, it started as an aftercare for somebody, wasn't it?
It was Coolkhead. So Coolkhead, he used to do bit of aftercare stuff, tattoos. He's engineering himself. He done sort of tattoo guns, always sort of creating bits and pieces, and then sort of he saw the comparison in tattoo aftercare in beard oils, and then had a bit of fun, and that's where Coolkhead has come along. But yeah, so Sean, what are you jumping back on this week?
Soft Paws. Coming back to them again. I know we've done them before.
Yeah.
You love a bit of soft pause.
Oh, honestly, I'm a massive fan. Kat as well. To be fair, she's as I said in the review that I did originally.
That looks amazing.
She posted up a video a little earlier. She's donating some stuff for a raffle that Wild Hair's doing.
Wild Hair,
I had a listen to what sort of stuff she's doing. I didn't realise she had as many as she's actually got, but she started off with a Tipsy Toucan, which is the soap made with Guinness, which is just potentially game changing. She's got another one that's going to be, I think she's called it Hair of the Dog, which is going to be made with a beer. And I was chatting to her about it last week. I think she's using a small brewery, like a craft brewery in Ireland. So she's using a local company for the lager soap that she's doing.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, she's got one that's made with honey and milk as well, I think. And then she's done one that's meant to be like a bit of a feminine one. It's called Flamingo, which is pink and shiny and stuff. So obviously, I don't think that's going to be as appealing to the majority of us, but we're still going to obviously have a market out there. But yeah, a couple of weeks ago, she sent me some of her oils, and over sort of a period of time, I'm going to come back to them every so often and do like a mini review on each one that she sent. So I think the first one was Bear Hug. I posted a picture on it on my page last week. Used that a couple of times. That's probably one of the more earthier ones. That is fir needle, myrrh, and juniper berries. There's quite a strong earthy scent to it.
Sounds like a gin and tonic.
It sounds what?
Sounds like a gin and tonic.
I know. It was for me. I'm not a huge fan of like very earthy scents, but at the same time, you can tell that anybody that loves the outdoors, fir needle, juniper berries, and myrrh.
Sounds nice.
I imagine, just walking through a forest scent essentially. So I'm going to come back to that this week and, like I say, do another sort of mini review on that, and then periodically come back to it. Because I'm a big fan. Yes. Well, I managed to twist Gary's arm into trying it to keep it in with the Irish theme for him. But yes, it's going to be good. I think that lager one, and it's good as well that she's using a local company. I think throughout all of this, I've made a point of always saying support local. You can walk into your Tesco's and your Asda's and your Boots and stuff and buy the Bulldog and Man Cave and stuff, but when it's guys like Soft Paws and Rusty Bear and Big Fat and stuff that are generally one-man bands, I think they need that. It's certainly with everything that's going on as well. I think it's highlighted that the small independent companies are the ones that will and should keep the country going.
I think the difference
we need to invest back into them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the difference between those smaller independent companies is you feel like when you use the product, you feel a certain sense of passion that comes from it as well.
Absolutely,
because you can buy the same fragrance twice from the same company, and you can tell they're handmade, and that's not a negative thing.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Sometimes there's slight subtle differences in how strong the smell is, just because of how they have to produce it at home. Yeah. So, and I think that's such a nice thing. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I love those extra little touches. So I love when someone chucks in a sticker or like a lollipop or a sweet or so, just anything that I packaged this myself, and I appreciate that you bought this from me. Here's something to say thank you for it. That any company that does that is a winner in my book.
The handwritten notes as well. I mean, I know. I remember Dan had one in that was written inside the box. They had a note written inside the box that you'd received.
Yeah.
Soft Paws did a handwritten, proper like letter-headed paper as well. Really, really professional. She'd wrote handwritten kind of like thank you or appreciation on that. John does sort of like a handwritten card with his in like a shiny marker pen. Says hope you enjoy, and then he mentions what product you are in.
What about
to
my
be
one?
fair, I could go and get it. To be fair, because I've saved it. I have saved it. I've saved it just in case this conversation ever comes up. Would you like me to go and get it?
Yes.
I feel like we've got to now.
I took everyone's ideas of doing. Everyone does like nice note. Thank you so much. You know, thanks for buying my products. Really appreciate your custom. I kind of went down a different route. You know, being the cunt that I am, I thought I'd go and. Oh, here we go.
I had to take it. I'd stapled it to my wall. I was that impressed with it. Just had to pull it down, but I don't know. To Sean. From Andy.
Massive.
Oh, but you know what? It's just the personal touches that are just so, you know. I mean, it's not one that you would choke on like you are doing, to be fair, but.
I took a drink at the wrong time there.
Have you got one as well, Dan? Have you still got it?
I do. Mine. Yeah, mine's away at the moment. I can't grab it.
Andy, was that a self-portrait?
That I assumed it was. I thought it was like a life drawing.
Yeah. To be fair, my one was the complete opposite of that.
Opposite, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I, which is sort of quite real for me. I mean, I have a massive dong.
And tiny balls.
they're always
no balls.
It was just the personal touch. Yeah, the personal touch of understanding Andy's genetics more. I think has made us appreciate his samples. All that.
Guys, I was gonna do a personal one, but they didn't sell A1 size paper there, so I just kind of stuck with the.
I was thinking more like A6 or 7 if that's what they offer.
So William says he listened to the podcast last week and heard you mention Rusty Bear. Who was it was talking about Rusty Bear?
That'd be Dan.
Dan. He has. Oh, there you go. He's gone and bought the Alpha Timberwood oil and brush combo. He says brilliant. So cheers, guys. We're glad you like it, mate. I'm glad we can give you guys some ideas and tips of what to buy.
Why we do what we do.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel like if I put out a video and one person buys a product based on my review, that makes me happy.
It's been worth it. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Bearded Danger said, "Where's my tester?" By the way, Andy, I forgot. I need to send it to you. I've got a few I need to send out.
Does that mean there's another variation of the drawing coming?
Yes.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Another variation.
I'm going to have to get drawing.
The pressure is on now. Now that people know what it is that you did for us, they are expecting the same.
The standard.
Drawing.
The bar has been set, mate. The bar has been
To be fair, the bar has been set because I've got stuff that I need to send out to both Dan and Andy as well. So I feel like I am slightly under pressure now.
Is this a segue? Is this a segue into?
Come on, let's show it. John's gonna love this.
Love it. Hold on, let me put that full screen.
Go again. There you
Look
go.
at that. Big.
And then also
Sean and his beanie hats.
I just prefer beanie hats. It's just so yeah. And we've got hoodies as well, but I've not got them to hand. But yeah, so I think took a little bit of time to come, but just obviously given everything at the moment, supplies are taking a little bit longer, but they might make an appearance next week potentially.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see. This should be there in time.
We'll trade you for one of them.
Well, if it had spoken up sooner, I would have considered sorting one out for him as well, but he didn't mention anything. So no.
Andy was saying off air that he'll quite happily trade his snapback for the fleshlight.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Was that the one that was also going to have your face on it as well?
Yeah, Big Fat Beaver asked me the other day what kind of merchandise do you think they should start producing, and I just said, well, why not flashlight? I mean, why not? You know,
are you prepared?
You know what flashlight is? Go and
bang some beard oil in there and just crack on. You know,
jobs are good. That's a different use for an oil altogether.
Exactly, yeah.
Subject.
At least they keep the shaft smooth anyway, you know.
Talking about Big Fat Beard, he has a competition.
I wondered where you were going.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm pulling away from it. I'm pulling away from it.
That's what she said.
No, he's running a competition at the moment, isn't he, John?
He is.
I've seen.
Which he's actually going to be on the podcast next week, isn't it? And but the winner's announcement will be on the podcast next week. He's what is it? It's a t-shirt, a soap, a brush, the oil, and a comb, isn't it? There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty much his entire set.
It's a
awesome.
massive giveaway which he's doing. It's pretty much anything and everything which you need to start up is there. It's a really, really good giveaway. I think it's probably one of the biggest giveaways which we've had so far.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Phenomenal. So these terms and conditions on it, obviously, like our page, subscribe to the YouTube if you can, comment, tag, all that normal type of stuff.
Always a loophole in there. Always a loophole.
Yeah, you've got to plug it somewhere. And then obviously next Sunday when he's on the podcast with us, he will have the pleasure of announcing the winner. So obviously I'm in the draw for that. So John,
as am I.
To call my name on that.
To be fair, I'll trade you because I've already got the brush. So if you do win, I'll swap you for something else.
Big Fat hats. He does. Sean, you might know this actually. Big Fat. He does the chocker hat, doesn't he?
Yes, I think he posted something on his page today about him wearing one. I don't know. To be fair, he'll have to confirm if he actually sells them. He hasn't got his website until his website is live on.
Yeah, he's announced it now. Yeah.
Wednesday, the 1st of July. So that's going to go live. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, he does. I don't know if it was just one that he did for himself or if he has got one that he's selling. Yeah, he mentioned phone case as well.
That
both of them look
case
smart.
is great.
In fairness, they do look really smart. But he'll have to let us know if he's selling them or if that was one just for his personal collection.
With a bearded Damien.
This is the dangerous thing. There's so many companies offering stuff like this. I just want one of everything.
Just got to say, that isn't a flask. This was my suggestion. Just saying.
You're 3/4 of the way there.
Nearly. And also, Andy, regards to Balbo, they are also going to give away as well.
News.
Amazing. Sorry, go.
Andy, Balbo, they're also doing a giveaway to us as well, aren't they?
They certainly are. So we're going to be doing this week. We're going to be doing the 3 days that I do my review over. We're going to run the giveaway over then. So they're going to be giving away the exact same products that I'm reviewing. So that's going to be the Heart Candy oil, the Sweet Orange Lang Lang cinnamon balm, and also the sandalwood beard soap. And I've used all 3 of them. They're fucking awesome. So definitely get on that giveaway. Everyone who's watching, everyone who watches, good chance to get some really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, that'll be running next week. And then also, there's another one next week.
Yeah, the Big Fat. So it's Big Fat Beard giveaway and also the Balbo giveaway, which we're doing next week. So we've got 2 running next week. And
That's
I
awesome.
believe we're going to announce them both on the podcast next week. But yeah, we'll run through the details of that. But yeah, I believe so. But thick or thin?
John's asking thick or thin beard oils and why.
I think
I would
personally,
say
I think it's not a personal preference thing. I think it's more of an occasion thing. If you've got like a full day ahead, a thick one's going to play a role. But if you're just popping out for a meal, a thin one has its place there as well. But I would have to say a thick one for me is I prefer mine thick. So yeah, I see that.
I agree. I agree with that. I like the ones now like them thick, as you said. I mean, but after using the Bald Viking one, it's totally changed my opinion on beard oils. Totally changed them because I really like that, and it's thick. I still don't always want to wear one though. Some days I want a thinner one. Especially if I'm like training or something. If I'm going out for like a long bike ride, I don't really want a thicker one. I have like a thinner one. Or yeah, I'd say if I want to use a beard balm, like a really, I say like the sugar beard balm, which is super thick, it's like super hard, loads of control. I'd use a thinner beard oil and let that soak in, and then use the thicker beard balm. But if I'm just using an oil by itself, I'd always do a thicker one.
I suppose like you say, it's just the occasion. I think it depends if you've got I think it's good to have both. I think, like you say, if you're just popping out, if you're going out for a meal with friends and family or whatever, I think a light one that's only going to last maybe a couple of hours, that's then going to subside. Or like say, if you've got a full day, and there's some people that have to work out in harsher conditions and outdoors and stuff. I think a thicker one's just going to give more protection from the elements. So I suppose it depends on the occasion or the scenario.
I also think it depends on the individual. If you're one of these type of people who hasn't got a very thick beard anyway, and you're sort of quite wispy, by throwing a thick oil in it, it's going to be quite heavy. It's not going to be very good. It's got to be down to the individual as well. I mean, all of us we've sort of got quite thick meaty beard, so we can hold the thick oils really well. But yeah, I just think it's got to be a combination of a personal preference, whether you can even hold it within your beard.
What I think is the best thing to do is to find yourself a good review page like Rusty Reviews or something, right? And just go and see what they say. Go and pick up on some opinions.
There's feedback. I couldn't hear. Is his mic all right?
Are we losing him, Andy?
Yeah, I think we are. We might. It'd be an awful shame if his feed just cut off right about now.
But honestly, find a review page, any review page, and let them do the legwork, because it's a minefield. Yeah. It's an absolute minefield trying to find yourself a balm and an oil, because there's just so many.
I think that's the thing as well. People like convenience these days. So if someone can do the hard work for people, then I think it's half the battle done. Well, I'd like to think generally we all have a reasonable opinion on what's good and what's not, or what works for us and what doesn't and stuff. So I think, not saying take what we say as gospel, obviously, but
no, you're right.
We've been there, I think, and
that's the idea of it, isn't it? Kind of giving it to try and listen to people who've been there. I mean, all of us. We've got to be hitting towards 100 different products. I mean, oils, balms, that count as two different products, if you know what I mean. But actual product, we're sort of between us, we're hitting sort of easy around about 100 products together, and that allows us to be able to have that experience and sort of give a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, to be honest, as you said, if you need help, jump onto these pages and see what's there. I mean, Andy, you're putting out a new series soon, and you're sort of working through your bits and pieces.
Yeah, so I'm doing my first one. I'm working at the moment. I've kind of written the first one. I'm starting filming tomorrow. I'm going to do like a short YouTube mini series, different subject each week, hopefully every week, maybe every 2 weeks, depending on how long this first one takes and how much editing it takes. But it's one of those things we were talking about the start of this, and we're saying we're just starting to dive into the world of video editing, creating content. I've been really enjoying it. I decided through the amount of questions, people messaging my Instagram account, they've just found me as a reviewer. They're asking me questions about how do you style your beard, how do you trim it, how do you use a beard oil, should I use a straightener, how should I use a straightener, should I put the oil on first, should I put the oil on after, just loads of different stuff. So I decided to make a little mini series. The first one's going to be called So You Want to Grow a Beard, like so the ultimate fighter. It's like, so you want to be a fighter. So I'm going to call it So You Want to Grow a Beard, and it's going to be like a beginner's guide to growing a beard, all the things that I wish I kind of knew that I learned through trial and error and took me fucking years to realize and figure out. Just so it's going to be like what to expect, little tips for starting to grow, different tips for products to use, and also busting the myths, all the bullshit stuff. I hate the thought of people buying into these like products where you put a serum on and you roll the thing and it magically gives you a beard within a week. These product artist advertisements.
Mate, I've just bought one of them. I just bought one of them for my head. Does it really not work?
Lean forward again. I think there's a couple just coming through.
In the world.
Does it start with does the company start with a Copen and end with a Hagen by any chance, Andy?
I think it's C and ends with Open the Hagen Beard Co. Just
yes.
Yeah. But there's a load of them, and it's just I want to give people a bit of a hand, and it also I'll make it a bit humorous and funny, and I just want to see how well my video editing skills live up to the hype, really. So yeah, that's the first of the bunch. I'll do like one. I'll do one on like how to use a beard oil, how to use a beard balm, how to trim your beard, how to do like touch-ups and stuff like that as well. But yeah, hopefully I'll start and go into something bigger. But
do you know what, guys? It's really commendable, the work that you guys have been putting together. It really is. In such a short space of time as well, the reach, the products you brought on board, the companies you've got in touch with. I just did this as like a pastime. I never thought of it as something that could actually potentially make change in this sort of community. So yeah, I tip my hat to the work you've put in. It's really good.
No, I appreciate it.
We and you know on furlough, and it kind of it brought us all together. And the second we started working together is when we realised sort of how well we work together and sort of how things are pushed. And it's from there. The ideas that our WhatsApp group. I wake up in the morning and Andy has gone through 100 voice notes. We look at this, we can have a look at that.
1 o'clock in the morning.
And then me and Sean will have a nice long conversation in the morning whilst Andy's catching up on his sleep. So it's
it'll surface about lunchtime.
Yeah, so it's that type of stuff where sort of it works really well. And then just being able to put that.
I take the late shift.
Yeah, but being able to put that sort of content and sort of advice and sort of how we bounce off each other, being able to put it back out to everyone else. And to be honest, we've had great feedback from yourself just now, but from companies where we review, and we like to go back to them and say, look, is there anything which you're not happy about? Is there anything which you think we can do better? And to be honest, not one of them have turned around and said to us yet, no, I didn't like it. All of them have come back and have said, yeah. Well, all of them have. They've come back and said, yeah, do you know, I'm really, really impressed. We do things different than other review pages so far. We put the bios out. We talk about the companies. We do the podcast. We do all this type of stuff, which is and so the CPSR, joining with 14 Media. We're sort of really trying to push out as much as we can, and that for us is who we are. I mean, as individuals, we are all OTT. I would probably say, and we push that into the Bearded Bear reviews. And it's we know the beard. Yes, we fucking do.
Definitely do.
Yeah,
it's a staple part of the conversation.
Yeah, I'm literally. I wake up in the morning at like 5:05, and I think to myself, I'm getting ready. I'm in the bathroom, and I've just got the voice notes going through it. And my missus actually says, woke up once, and I'm in the bathroom, door closed, and his voice is going on, and she went, "He does love his voice, doesn't he?" I was like, yeah. Just a little bit.
What makes her think that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, I love my voice. I just love talking shit. That's that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I think, to be fair, I think we've just established now what each of us strong points are. And I think it just helps a little bit that there's 3 of us to just sort of bounce ideas off. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, without speaking to Dan and without speaking for Dan and Andy, rather, with people like yourself, I think it's good that we can have these conversations, and we can. And moving forward, I think we will potentially bounce ideas off each other.
I think the thing about that's right. Yeah, I think the thing about review pages is, especially beard-related review pages, oils, balms, etc., is we although we're all doing different things, we're all on the same page. We all want the same things. We're all pushing for the same stuff. So it's not a very negative community in terms. Everyone's prepared to talk to each other and share ideas and content and stuff, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of going about things, which doesn't always sit right with some people, but no, I think generally speaking, the majority of pages like ourselves are all doing it with the same focus in mind. It's just to help people that are out there, and potentially just guide them along the way, and not obviously chastise them for one reason or another. But no, I think if we can all support the industry as well, because that's what it is. I think that's why we set up. We wanted to just give a voice to people behind the brands as well, people behind the companies, and just make it a bit more personal in that respect, which is why we do the company bios, and we try and learn a little bit more about them. So I think it's working, seems to be working well so far, at least anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool, guys. Well, I think we're hour 25 in. Is there anything anyone wants to give a little plug to, a bit of a shout out to before we end the broadcast?
No, you know where to find my socials. It's Rusty Reviews across the board. Come find me. Come say hi. Watch a video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it is there, isn't it? So I mean, we're all on the Instagram. So obviously follow everyone. Follow Trinity Beards. Follow Doc's Bearded Life. Follow Beard Things. And follow Rusty Reviews. Also follow Rusty on his YouTube channel. Beard Things Andy on his YouTube channel, and obviously on our YouTube channel, which if you're listening to this, then you better be subscribed.
We're actually currently sat on 14 subscribers.
Hey,
so that's not a bad start.
We're getting
Rusty. I've got
15.
I love your logo.
15.
I love your
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
It is, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I found this lovely young lady called Alice, who actually lives in Colombia, that does all my artwork for me. So amazingly reasonably priced, and that, as you can see, that's really clean, good artwork. It's great. She's brilliant, mate. She's exceptional. The turnaround is amazing. Like I could message her now and be like, "Could you do this?" She'd be like, "Yeah, no worries. Just send over $20," and then like an hour later, something pops in the inbox. It's amazing. It's brilliant.
Do you want to give a shout out?
I can't remember. It's on. She is on. Alice. I can't remember what it is, mate. It's sort of fancy Spanish. I don't know what they speak. What language they speak in Colombia? It's so
Spanish.
Unworldly. It's all. Yeah, I think it is Spanish. Yeah. It's all. Yeah. Alice ANG Publications or something like that it is, I think. But yeah, they're very good.
We'll have a look.
Very good. Yeah, you should.
John has just messaged, and he's just said, before we go, can we touch on packaging? Just how important is it to customers? So I think for me, packaging is nice. It's a nice effect. Soft Paws was probably one of my favourite packaging so far, simply because they had a nice little bit of humour.
Yes.
On the bottom of the box, they had a sort of the arse.
As a dog's ass, yeah.
Yeah, and it was oops, this is the bottom, and then sort of inside they had a cornstarch filler, didn't they? Which
dissolves in water.
Literally, all you do is you put a bit of water in, and it completely disappears. So I think for me, packaging, it's not key. It's not like everything, but it's nice to have that. Like the Beard Struggle, they have their like black thing with their logo on the front, and that's nice when it turns up and all that type of stuff. I think it's nice. Yeah, there we go.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I think it's nice, but not everything. The product has to be good to go with the packaging as well.
I think for me, in terms of packaging, I'm a big fan of consistency across the board. So once you look at Sugarbeard and what else is there? Yeah, Sugarbeard's probably a really good one to pick. They have their theme Odin's is another one as well. So they have their theme, they have the style that they want to go for, and they keep it very consistent across the board. They just change a bit of color here and a bit there, and I like that. I like the fact that it all you know what it is. The second you see it, you know exactly what it is. There's no questioning.
Yeah.
You know that sugar beard that stands out a mile, and for me that consistency across the board is quite a key thing for me in terms of packaging.
Yeah, I think for
I
me
agree.
as well.
Oh, you go.
No, go on. After.
Cool. So packaging for me, I like. I agree with Rusty. I think it's really good to have something that's consistent that you know what it is. Like the sugar beard one, it's the same design, but it's slightly changed for each scent, so it has a different color. It's like holding something different. And then also Odin's as well. It's every scent is branded or named after like a different Norse god or mythical character, and you can tell it's Odin's, but they all look different. But you can tell it because it has that running theme. I think that's
they
really
have
important.
that. The way the logo's actually drawn is so similar across the board, isn't it? With Odin's.
Yeah. And then also the actual packaging you receive it in, I think that's pretty important as well, because it's part of the excitement, isn't it? Like you've ordered something, you're waiting for it to come in the mail. It's good to have something come through the box, and when like it comes through, you know what it is before you've opened it. You're like, oh fuck yes, so this is it. And then you can get it down, you can sit down with it, you can take a photo of it before, and then open it, and it's like part of the excitement is the actual opening of the. It's like Christmas Day. Like the biggest part is opening the presents, not the actual presents, it's opening them and like being excited and looking at that present below your Christmas tree for fucking weeks at the time. I think the company is really, really important, and I think it needs to be consistent on everything you give out. So I think like when a brand has a certain type of envelope or a certain type of box that's got a stamp on it or like a sticker on it, and you know what it is, I think that's really important.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, at just going on from that, I think for me, it's not the imperative bit, but I think it is a nice touch. I mean, for example, you look at people like Dan, who gets a package, whose kids want to know what it is, which then in turn leads into an unboxing video, and everyone always loves an unboxing video. I mean, YouTube unboxing, I imagine there's probably an unboxing for every possible product out there, no matter what the industry. But for me, it's more the personality, it's the personal touch, it's the handwritten note, it's the bit of humor on the bottom of the box, it's the pack of Haribos or the lollipop, like we say, that's been put in there. It's just that personal touch that shows that there is somebody that is literally one man behind, or one woman behind a company, who is sitting there and packaging everything as the order comes through. For me, it's just going back to what I said before. It's just that supporting the local businesses, because I would imagine, not obviously speaking for the companies that do it, but I imagine every time an order comes through, whether it's pinged through on a website or they get an email notification say that somebody's ordered something of their product, I imagine there is a feeling of pride, a feeling of that sort of sense of achievement.
Absolutely.
And I imagine that's a feeling that probably never gets old either. I imagine they could be there in a year's time still doing the same thing and still getting that little sort of smile on the face every time an order comes through and stuff like that. And then knowing repeat orders and recognizing names when they come through and stuff. And I wouldn't say rewarding repeat customers, but certainly there's a reason why they're repeat customers. And I think it just means it's a nice feeling. Like I said it last week about Drummer's Call. It's nice that it's what they're doing, and it's sort of like returning the favor, loosely speaking, and supporting them as an individual as well. I think that's it. It's just supporting making or turning their dream into reality. So I think that's why it's so important just to not buy from a supermarket or stuff. It's to buy from a face behind an Instagram page or a product.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, guys. So quickly, one last question. I'm going to answer quickly. John's asked maybe a tough one, but is there anything that you'd like to see in a company that hasn't provided it yet in terms of total experience? Yes, mate, a flashlight. Hopefully you're going to be first to do that. And we're going to wrap it up quickly, guys. So make sure all of you give Rusty Reviews a follow. Also Trinity Beards, Doc's Bearded Life, Beard Tings, and then also Bearded Bear Reviews. And one last little plug for me. Make sure you tune in and watch my first episode of Beard Tings
Can't wait.
So you want to go on next week?
I need that. I need a pointer.
Yeah.
We all do. We all do.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will be back same time, same place next Sunday, 8 p.m. Tune in or don't tune in. Go fuck yourself. See you later. Stay bearded. Stay safe.
See you later.
Peace out.